So we have Bitcoin sitting at $74,400 right now, and the runaway Bitcoin bull market is fully intact, right? We're about to see major expansion. We've had the SR flips, we've cleared the levels, the at least anticipation of the major economic data and elections are now out of the way, which means the market has more certainty. There is one more thing that stands before us, but it's likely to line up in favor of the bulls. So let's get into it. Smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Let's go. While we're having a look over here at the volatility for the S&P 500, that being the VIX, and this was something that we're looking at leading into the elections already on, I think it was on Tuesday that we're having a look at this, and we said that it's coming into the key area of resistance over here. So this could be a telltale sign of how that election gameplay will actually go, where you expect this to drop towards the downside, and that will create this massive repricing of those who are hedge short, and they're going to be coming back into the market in a big way. That's exactly what we saw, right? Which is why we saw these massive spikes within the market, and we had a look at the long to short ratio as well. And we know this was very heavily skewed in the favor of the longs, meaning there were much more shorts than longs within the market. And unbelievably, to my surprise right now, as we look at this, you can see again, there's still more long shorts. More of the shorts that are currently in the market than are long in the market, which means, again, this could still be a further short squeeze that could take place. And if you go all the way down to the bottom over here and we have a look at least at these ratios, there it is. You can have a look at that. Huge liquidations coming from the short side. We had a total short liquidation over the last 24 hours of almost $500 million, $426 million worth of liquidity taken. And yet some people are still running shorts right now. So probably another squeeze that's going to be coming as Bitcoin trades at those all-time highs. We're going to have a look at, some of the prior calls that we made in today's show. We're also going to be giving away $8,000 to one lucky person. So if you want those $8,000, smash the like button and make sure that you do stay tuned. You do need a Bybit account for that, right? We're using the user IDs from the Bybit accounts to get that $8,000. So stay tuned until the end if you do have a Bybit account with us. And then let's get going. So the last thing that is in the way, at least of the bulls, in terms of you having certainty, remember the market hates uncertainty and it absolutely loves certainty, is the US federal funds rate, which is coming out later today. And then we have the US FOMC press conference. Now, this is probably one of the most important press conferences that will take place because we're really looking for key wording, specifically in their reports and their statement, which may indicate that they're going to be buying back assets, and that could be a major pivot into altcoins as well as all on risk on assets. And this should create, the continued pump for all of the markets beyond crypto, right? Not just for crypto, but we know that crypto is going to be an extra benefactor of that pump because we have such a low market cap in crypto that we should see much higher prices. So we're looking for those keywords. They could be coming out today. If they don't come out today, then of course we have to look to the next FOMC. So it's going to be a major event, very important, because if they don't provide that key info, then you can expect Bitcoin dominance is probably going to continue up. ETH BTC is going to turn back down once again. We're going to have a look at ETH BTC today as well, which for the first time in a long time is showing some signs of life, right? So these are the things that we're looking at. Also, could there be a surprise 50 basis point cut? Well, according to the probability rates over here, there's only a 2.5% chance, but you never know. If it does come out with a surprise 50 basis point cut, then you can expect that should send the market running, right? Right now, 97.5% probability. It's only going to be a 25 basis point cut, which means at least they're still cutting, right? So we're waiting for that major transition. And if the key wording is correct, it's going to take a little bit of time because this is more on a monthly scale, but we should then start to see the Federal Reserve's total assets, instead of declining, flatten out and then slowly start to turn back towards the upside. But we know that crypto bros are on the ball, right? They have the nail on the head most of the time, which means they're probably going to front run this aggressively. So we want to pay hyper attention to that so we can get into those positions as early as possible, right? And that's the question, right? Is should you be all in right now? Yes or no? You let me know in the comments. Should you be all in right now in the market, in the crypto market, in altcoins? Yes or no? Please do let me know. I want to see what the audience think. And let's continue. We were still waiting for the breakdown of the DXY. You can see it did hit this trend line over here, or almost hit it. But coming into that 0.786 level, we need to give this a little bit of time. One thing that I do want to say is when you move into the cyclical part of the market cycle that we're in right now, then you could theoretically still see Bitcoin rally, even if the DXY does go up. We have seen this happen in the past, but sometime next year, there should be a major breakdown of the DXY. I'd prefer to see it, of course, from this level over here as per our little trajectory, something like that. But I don't want to rule out the possibility that, maybe it continues to chop over here. Overall, we're still viewing this as macro distribution. And one of the things that I'm still open to is if you are viewing this as macro distribution, sometimes you get a final spike up with the Wyckoff schematics, right? You get that last point of supply, the final spike up, and then you start to break down. So we need to keep an open mind as the DXY pushes up. But so far, it's not causing too much trouble for Bitcoin as well as the stock market, since those continue to trend towards all-time highs. And if you look at the ETF flows, well, the days typically where you have the biggest inflows oftentimes mark local tops. And then the days where you have the biggest outflows mark major bottoms within the cycle. And you can see over there, right? This was a huge outflow day that just occurred the day before yesterday. Combining that with a massive short squeeze within the market, as we outlined over here, there was around almost $500 million worth of liquidity that was taken. So we'll keep an eye out on that as well in future as a little bit of a counter indicator to what may be coming next. The other thing to pay attention to over here is the 7-day moving average for the daily exchange volume. Typically, if this goes up, it means a whole lot of retail participants are busy coming back into the market. And then if we see sustainability of that move, then, you can expect continuation across the broader crypto sphere, right? So what we really want to see is we want to see this trading, between about that $50 and $75 billion mark, which if you look on the left-hand side is there, 50 to 75 billion. If we can get back into that territory, this is where you start to see price grind up very quickly alongside the volume, showing a whole lot of new market participants feel the market is healthy and they want to come back in. So the question is it too late? Are you too late to be getting into the market? And I think the simple answer is absolutely not, but almost too late, but not too late yet. It's getting close, right? As the volume is still hanging very, very low here, it means that maybe some people are still in shock with the recent move that occurred with Bitcoin. And you're going to start to see retail people asking that exact question, right? Coming back to the markets. I thought maybe I should buy Bitcoin. Is it too late? Maybe I should buy ETH. Is it too late? Should I get into the altcoin space? I don't know. Usually they will only enter into the market when it feels a little bit more comfortable, which means that this phase is probably just prior to things grinding up. So we saw gold breakout. We saw the S&P 500 breakout, Dow Jones Industrial Average, Bitcoin now at all-time highs. We're still waiting for altcoins and crypto to follow suit. But if you look at the gold trade, this has been an absolute banger of a trade. You can see over here, we entered down there, to take this gold trade up 12.21% was an absolutely mammoth trade. This is not an altcoin. This is a multi-trillion-dollar asset class, which is very highly leveraged. That takes it up many more trillions when you include the derivative factor that's included. And this was a huge move. And you can see we pretty much sold the exact top over there. You are now getting a major pullback. Now, in terms of gold over here, you can continue to track this, with the swing low levels over here. So that's a major swing low. If you do start to form a major low over here, then yes, this could continue higher. But at the end of the day, you've had an aggressive move up over here. You can track the trend line and you've now broken that. So on gold, be careful if there are any lower highs. But yeah, really proud of the community who followed along with this trade, because at the end of the day, it's one thing for me to make a call and say that I'm taking this trade. It's a whole nother thing or a level of guts that you're putting in if you take that trade with us. So we did drop this trade in the Whale Room Discord. You can see all the way over here on the 14th of August is where we took that trade. There it is. 14th of August in the Whale Room Discord. So definitely, I think one for the books. Very, very proud of everybody who took that. I actually congratulated everyone in Whale Room over here. We said we can add this to the Wall of Fame trades list, because for gold, that is a massive move. So if you're not in Whale Room, guys, get into Whale Room. There's a lot of opportunity there. And there are other trades, right? There are other trades. We trade a lot of the TradFi markets over here. We mark this out as a very, very key area of support. You can see price narrowly missed that, so I had to jump in a little bit late on this trade, but nevertheless, I got into the long over here, and you can see the histogram starting to tick towards the upside. This is on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. You could have taken the same trade on the Nasdaq as well as the S&P 500, and if you wanted that exposure to the altcoin sector, you could have just bought Coinbase as well, right? This is something that we've been looking at for quite some time. There it is, new all-time highs. Now, this is printing an inefficiency candle, which means at some point you're going to probably come back towards near the entry zone that I have. So I might shave a little bit of profits at some point, and then in the next coming weeks, look for a little bit of a throwback into this entry region, which was around that 4,300, right? This is on Prime XBT. This is where I've taken that trade. If any of you do want to take those trades with us, remember Prime XBT offer crypto stocks, forex pairs, commodities. They got all the CFDs. They got a whole bank shoot over there, and you do get a sign-up bonus, right? So if you deposit $10,000 or $1,000, you'll get 20% on top of that, so 2,000 extra or 200 depending on how much you put in, and you can use that to trade with, or you can get the 25% discount on trading commission. So understand also, by the way, for Prime XBT, for those of you who do want to join, this is a purely leveraged trading platform, right? So you're not going to be holding any spot on this exchange. This is purely to take advantage of things like in the legacy market, as well as forex pairs. If you ever want to hedge, or you want to sharpen the tools as a trader, you want to learn some new things. So there it is. Stock market very, very strong. S&P 500 new all-time highs. Nasdaq is at new all-time highs. Dow Jones is at new all-time highs. And there it was, Coinbase, huge spike up over there. Now, one of the big reasons that Coinbase got that spike is, of course, as soon as Donald Trump came in and took over the presidency, it was guaranteed. It was one of the things that he said would be the first thing you would do, which is fire salty old Gary Gensler. Salty Gary Gensler is out, right? He's done. And that means less pressure from the SEC, since Gary was the head of the SEC. So Securities and Exchange Commission should, have a lighter approach towards crypto and not be so hard on crypto's back the whole time. And that creates an opportunity for crypto to run. Remember, the market doesn't really need any major reason to go up, right? Markets typically trend upwards and towards the right over time, which means removing these obstacles makes it much easier and less friction for the crypto cycles to move up. So far, that is your Coinbase chart over there as you attempt to press into the range high over here. Your resistance is coming in at 288. Of course, if you break above that 288 on Coinbase, based on the rectangle over here, you can actually measure out a move, and that means that you can look at Coinbase moving up to about 356. So from current levels over here, that's about another 40% move, as opposed to trying to pick a needle in a haystack of altcoins, right? You can sometimes go for the picks and shovels, which is going to be Coinbase, one of the picks and shovels over there. So still looking decent. We'll keep an eye out on it. I would say, if you're not exposed at this point, probably not worth aping in. We're talking about gaining exposure or DCAing in these low regions. And in actual fact, our first entries and buys on Coinbase was based on a horizontal over here. We deviated, we broke back into the range, and we went long initially at $45. But I know a lot of you may have not been here all the way back then when we took these trades. That was like in early January, February of 2023. So let's continue. Another thing we've been focusing on over here was we're keeping an eye on this chart, which is, of course, the USDT Dominance, right? If the USDT Dominance drops, which is the biggest stablecoin market cap, it means that money has to flow somewhere, right? In order for the USDT Dominance to drop, it's essentially taking this massive pile of cash and throwing it into crypto, right? Which tends to push the crypto market towards the upside. Understand there is going to be some level of resistance, which is coming in over there. Maybe it leads into a lower high and eventually break down into the 3.4% level. So first area of major resistance coming in between about 4.2 and about 4.4, just depends timing wise when it hits it, if it's there or there. So we'll update you when it's time to start to take a little bit of profit on Bitcoin. Maybe USDT dropping down into this region could potentially push Bitcoin up to anywhere into that $80,000 to $85,000 region. Maybe you look for a little bit of resistance in that zone during the course of November. December is a bit of a pause month, and then January we resume the up-only bull environment, where we say 2025 is probably going to be the year of the bulls, right? It's of course been a bull market the whole time. We've had a bull market ever since the FTX lows. That was the start of the bull, but the retail only digest that it's a bull market when you're in that final peak, right? But you guys know better. You've been here for a long time. So well done. You guys know better. Now, here's your monthly chart. Massive cup and handle formation. I was doing whale school lives yesterday with everybody on Zoom, and I started to realize something, which was that, of course, we know that gold was in a huge cup and handle, right, which broke out. We saw that the S&P 500 was in a huge cup and handle, and that broke out. Then we started to see Bitcoin doing the same thing. And what's interesting is if you look at Ethereum, you know, Ethereum is still hanging somewhere down here, but it has also produced that cup and handle. And if you look to a lot of the altcoins, well, the altcoins look like this, right? They've all dropped all the way down to the bottom over here, and they may be at the bottom of the cup and handle. The other thing that I found that was interesting when looking at the altcoins on high time frames versus Bitcoin as well is initially when I timed a low entry into Bitcoin, part of the reason, it wasn't the only reason, but one of the reasons that I looked for a major low was based on the falling wedge formation that occurred over here down to $16,000. And that also looks like a lot of the altcoins. Remember, a lot of the alts that we've looked at were in these falling wedge formations, then they started to break out. Now, that initial breakout then gets met with a bit of resistance and you get a little bit of a pullback over there. But when you zoom out, this all still creates that rounded bottom, that cup and handle formation. So I think there are still some really good times ahead. At the end of the day, if you take a look at this chart over here, we have, of course, had the absolutely beautiful SR flip, previous resistance, support over here. And the monthly candles are doing exactly what we anticipated ever since August. And I actually have the proof to showcase that to you right now today, just in case there's any skeptics out here or people that have not been following along for a long time. Now, ultimate targets or trajectories, we can use Fibonacci levels as extension targets. So first area of interest, the 1.618 fib extension coming in at $89,000, the 2.618 fib extension at $113,000, and then the 3.618 at $138,000. So those are some of the levels to look out for in the coming weeks and months as price continues to move up. We're also focusing on, of course, the stochastic RSI in the bottom over here. And we spoke about every time it pushes into these regions over here, you typically see continuation of the move, right? So now you're starting to get into the bullish control zone. This is where bulls take control. Contrary to popular belief, the overbought and oversold analogy when looking at stochastics and RSIs is mostly misinterpreted, and most people are misguided. It's in actual fact considered more bullish when these things push and hold in this region. Keyword, they need to hold into this region. Of course, if it starts to turn over and lose the red dotted line at 80 over here, or dash line over here, then that's where we can start to get a little bit cautious. But as it currently stands, bulls are in full control. We look like we're breaking out of not only a massive cup and handle on the monthly, but also a huge bull flag, which has implied targets anywhere into the $100,000 to $120,000 level, just depending on how conservative or aggressive you are when it comes to making your targets, right? We also spoke about on Tuesday, while the whole world was panicking and prices were coming down over here, Monday and Tuesday, we spoke about this. We spoke about the hash ribbons indicator, which has a buy signal on the daily time frame. And according to that hash ribbons indicator, if we simply take a vertical and we throw it in, when you get the buy signal, according to the hash ribbons indicator, the previous low should hold as major support, right? And there's your previous low. That's why we said strong invalidation would be if you start to close anything under $59,000. Otherwise, this is still a long opportunity. Even at these current levels, you can look to allocate into the market aggressively. And that's what we saw, right? Price has continued towards the upside. All in all, it's looking good. You can see the rectangle over here. You're breaking out of that. You're holding above the top side of the range. And all in all, it's looking good. Now, remember when the market broke down on the 5th of August and the world was panicking as well? We spoke about the Wyckoff accumulation schematic. This was actually posted over here in Discord. I gave the good, right? The good reasons to be long. What's good about the market right here? That was, again, the 5th of August in the Whale Room Discord. There it is, 8:10. We said the sell-offs on relatively low volume prior to the other sell-offs. And we spoke about the Wyckoff accumulation where we started to put in that spring phase, right? You had a secondary spring phase over here. And we spoke about waiting for price to reclaim 60K. And you can even see the trajectory, more specifically, even with the timing factors that we're looking at, right? We're looking at towards the middle of September to the end of September, meaning the beginning of November, to reclaim the top side of the trading range which is over here. This is your trading range at $71,600. And we said that's most likely to occur between mid-September and the end of September, i.e. the beginning of November. And that is going to create your SOS phase, where you transition from phase D into phase E. Well, if you look at that and you read the meanings and definitions of the Wyckoff accumulation over here, and we scroll up, remember, you're going from phase C into phase D into phase E, right? This is phase D to phase E, the SOS phase. And we can look at the terminology. We're looking for that sign of strength. I'm going to show you on the chart what this looks like in a moment. But the sign of strength, a strong bullish move that breaks through high volume resistance, indicating the markup start, or the start of that markup phase, which is the up phase, right? Then you're going to look for this next, right? We've done that. We've done the SOS. We're in it right now. So what next? What should you be looking for? You're looking for the last point of support, right? Pullbacks to support levels defined by previous resistance offer low risk entries. So let's go to the chart over here. Remember, we called this all the way back here on there's the date, the 5th of August on the chart, the 5th of August. What's the date now? It's the 5th of November. We even gave you a timing target between middle of September and the start of November. And let's go through to the chart. Where are we now? Well, we are at the start of November. We reclaimed the top side of the trading range exactly like we expected over there. We put in the spring phase over here. We transitioned from phase C into phase D into now, the end of phase D, beginning of phase E. So again, according to this, what are you looking for? The last point of support. Pullbacks to the support levels defined by previous resistance offer those low risk entry points. And if you look on the top one, clear the high volume area. We cleared the high volume area. Now you're looking for the low risk entry point. So let's go to, there it is, high volume area cleared, right? We're looking for the short-term consolidation. Let's turn off the volume to not confuse you over there. We're looking for the short-term consolidation within this region over here now. That's what we drew, more or less, a little bit of chop into this zone. And that is your last point or last entry opportunity. Now, we need to wait for today's daily candle close. Once we have more information based on the daily candle close, we are going to have a fair value gap or inefficiency candle that's over here on high volume. And that creates your target zone, right? For where you're going to get your opportunity. So the day's not over yet, right? You're going to measure from the previous wick to the wick low of today, wherever that wick low forms. Maybe it forms there, maybe it comes a little bit lower. Wherever that forms, we'll mark out the levels, and then we're going to have a target for where price is going to come for the final time. So it's probably going to be anywhere between about 70,000 and about 73,500, give or take. Tomorrow, I'll give you more information. Turn on the bell notification. Make sure you come back tomorrow. Smash the like button if you want to learn more, right? Because tomorrow I will update you on where that fair value gap is. And that is going to be the final entry zone where you expect everything to play out as per what we've drawn over here, moving into phase E, which then becomes the up only phase. So again, to show you what you have to look forward to in phase E, that's the next move, right? Price exits the trading range. Demand will dominate, leading to a very clear uptrend with higher highs and higher lows. And then your old retail friends will join the party again, right? The public joins the bullish market, reinforcing the trend and sending prices higher, right? All of this, again, guys, in Whale Room, dropped way ahead of time. This wasn't the only chart that we put in there. You know, I gave you a lot of information over here with various different factors. We also had a look at, you know, the correction drawdowns in the fifth wave. And we spoke about within a weekly correction, it's very, very rare that you get an 18.46% move, which is part of the reason we bought that dip, right? We started to allocate heavily into the market over here. You know, most of us that have been in Whale Room for a long time have already been fully long for since the 16 to 18K region. So this was anyone that was still in cash. This was kind of that last opportunity. And that was posted live, right? While price was coming down. We didn't wait for the wick. You can see studying the information and the previous history can provide you massive, massive returns if you trust the law of averages and you trust the data, right? So what else did we have a look at? Well, if you go through to the 31st of August, you can see over here, so just before September, we had a look at various different seasonality factors. The market was still incredibly bearish at that point, and we said that, you know, it's typically bad for most assets On average, Q3 is the worst quarter for Bitcoin, meaning it's the best opportunity to be buying. And Q4 is the best quarter for Bitcoin, right? And then we went through all the various different things. And one of the telltale signs, which we posted about again on the 31st of August in Discord, was the fear and greed, right? We saw very similar patterns that marked the cycle low just before the election phase. There was the 14th of November, 2016. If you zoom into this, you would see we had a very, very similar print, right? There's the print over here on the fear and greed. If you look at price over here, it was really flat, and that started to lead to the next move up. We saw the same thing at the same point in time prior to the halving cycle, prior to the election phase and just post the halving cycle. And that was on the 1st of October 2020. And that was kind of that last little consolidation before the next up move. And then we identified exactly the same thing that occurred right over there, right? 18th of August, the fear and greed comes into that level just like before and gives the same type of print, right? And there was price. It came down to that 52K region, which was the low in alignment with what we identified over here on the 1st or the 5th of August, as per the Wyckoff accumulation. And then, of course, prices move up, right? So all in all, it's looking good. Prices above the previous quarterly high. You know, that's kind of as low as I'd want to see price go now in order to keep this valid. If we look at this phase over here, in order to keep this last point of support pullback for a low risk entry valid, we would want to see continued price action sustaining above $70,000, which is your previous quarter high, right? So those are the levels. That's what we're looking at. We want to see that happen over there. This is breaking you out of a long-term trading range. Don't get too bearish, right? It's absolutely insane following what is an 8-month-long range that we're now breaking out of for the first time. Usually you're going to get rapid price appreciation following such a long range. And really everything has been following perfection, right? You can see this is our cycle. We're in the purple one over here that's flashing on and off the screen. And if we zoom in, there it is, right? Absolutely according to perfection, nothing out of the ordinary over here. There's no reason to be fearful. There's also no reason to be extremely greedy. It's just doing exactly what it did in the prior cycle. So Bitcoin looking good. This is the end game. We're waiting for that. We're waiting for continuation and the final phases of the bull run. So I guess we can start to get a little bit of cautious when we get about, maybe somewhere around here, about 850 days into the cycle. Remember, we track this to a T as well. When you look at these vertical lines running across the screen, these are all the major inflection points. So if we actually study this and we have a look at some of these levels, I'm actually curious right now, as we're on the show, to see where we should maybe start to be a little bit cautious, where we could start to put in some sort of a local high. Let's go about 850 days conservatively. Where would that put it, right? 850 days conservatively. Let's grab our tool over here. Okay, so we're going from cycle low. That's the start of the cycle. And we want to go 850 days into the cycle and see date-wise where that puts us, right? 850 days is going to put us almost there. 850 days, there it is. Okay, 850 days, March. So the 9th of March, 2025. We'll put that in. I'm going to actually book it right now. Let's put it in over there, and we'll label this as well. We'll put it in on the 8th of March, and we're going to say, there we go. Let's put in the text over there. 850 days since cycle low. Be careful. There we go. Cool. Okay, guys. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Be careful. We got it in there. Okay, so it's booked. It's on the calendar. We'll mark it off over there. Feel free to put on your own calendar as well. We'll keep an eye out on that. Okay, let's get to the fun part. Let's give away $8,000. Smash the like button, guys. We're going to do the giveaway right now. So this is for those of you with the Bybit account. This is the benefit, I guess, of signing up to Bybit. If you do sign up and you use the link in the description below over here, by the way, you'll be entered into the Win a Bitcoin competition where you can actually win yourself. You can win yourself a full Bitcoin, right? It's very easy. If you go to the bottom over here, you'll see this Win a Bitcoin is back with banter bubbles, right? So click on these links, Bybit, Blowfin, BitGet, CoinW, sign up to those. Once you've signed up and you have that exchange link, it's going to provide you with a user ID, which is how I'm doing the giveaway now, right? We need the user ID to do these giveaways. Then you go through to banter bubbles. Once you've already signed up and you made your deposit, go to Win a Bitcoin. come through over here, and simply all you have to do is say you're ready, right? Click over there and then start to enter your prediction. What's your prediction? Put in your user ID, click sign in, and that will qualify you to guess the price. The closest guess, as it says over here, by the 1st of January 2025 on Coinbase, as the clock strikes 12, will win half a Bitcoin. If you took 10 trades on that exchange account, you get a full Bitcoin, right? Then you get the other half. So you get 50% for taking the other 10 trades, and you can guess once a week, which means you have ample opportunity. You can spread tons of guesses, right? From the lows to the highs to the extreme highs over there in terms of your predictions, right? So let's do it. Let's give it away. We have a list over here. It's pretty much running from 1 to, I don't even know how long that number is, like to 20 million or something. So we're going to do a random number generator. We're going to click generate. Okay, this is the number. Okay, it's 9244. Well, I don't need to remember it, right? 9244. So it is going to be this one, I think. Let's see, is it this one? I think it's going to be this one. It's a little bit closer to this side. So let's delete that one. 92449002. So it's going to be this individual. What you need to do, if this user ID belongs to you, ma'am or sir, the good thing is we don't need to do the they, them, her, their, sir, right? Because Trump is back in power. So we're back to 2 genders, as Josh told us the other day, right? So have a look over here, 2711586112. Again, I'll say it again, but you can just screenshot it. Maybe we can zoom in. There it is. 2711586112. Congratulations, you won yourself $8,000 courtesy of Bybit. I think they may have put it in over here. You need to email 𝗕𝗢𝗕𝗓, where is it? What is it? Giveaways at 𝗕𝗢𝗕𝗓.com. Is it in over here? Let's just see. Bybit. There it is. It is. It's underneath the Bybit link over here. It says Bybit competition winner. Please email if that is your user ID with proof, obviously, that it's yours. Giveaways at 𝗕𝗢𝗕𝗓.com, and they'll give you $8,000. So well done, well done. Hopefully we can do another one, guys. Sign up to Bybit if you do want to participate. We're not done yet, right? Let's have a look. There's a lot of important things to be focusing on. One thing to be looking at over here is the BTC Dominance, right? Now, we speculated in Wellroom, what if just maybe you start to see a Bitcoin dominance top off of the elections? But I guess I could argue what's more important is going to be this event coming up today from the FOMC with the press conference. That is vitally, vitally important to determine if there is going to be any sort of a top over here. Now, we're looking for a top anywhere between right here, and I guess in the absolute worst case scenario, this thing runs to about 64%. I can't really see it going any higher than that, but somewhere around here, you're looking to fade the Bitcoin dominance, which means allocating into the altcoin sector between now and January is probably going to give you the highest risk to reward returns that you're going to ever see within crypto, right? This is kind of the opportunity. This is the moment. When this breaks down, we should see the altcoin season run. Now, kind of the way that I'm thinking about things personally is once Bitcoin dominance top is confirmed and things start to come down, that's probably going to be my signal to be a lot more cautious, right? And I'm actually curious to see in the prior cycle, you can see Bitcoin dominance topped all the way up over here, but how long did it rally before it found a bottom and started to pick up? So this was 616 days. Long, right? Still very, very long. 616 days. Let's have a look at this one over here. The breakdown of that to the bottom, that lasted about 322 days. So just trying to establish how long could things go on for, to find a bottom. I guess maybe I shouldn't be looking to the extended part because it started to range. And if you look at this, about 140 days. So the altcoin seasons are typically very, very quick, right? As Bitcoin dominance drops, it ends very, very quickly. So it's something that you do need to be careful of. You can see the first signs of life over here from ETH BTC. We said, we're not sure how much further down this is going to go, but timing wise, we're expecting that, between now and January within this yellow box is going to be the bottoming process for ETH BTC. You got ETH USD with a big spike up. Again, a tricky one to trade. Let's keep our eyes out on that. There's your ETH chart, right? Looked like a false breakdown over here. Bear trap right? Price coming towards the bottom over there, and then immediately spiking back up, right? So reclaiming the top side of the trading range. This is still your ascending triangle. You can see it does have a measured move, and that measured move takes you into the range quarterly. Remember, we always look at the chart like this in terms of the range. You've got the range low. I guess you have a range quarterly over here. You have your mid-range kind of where you add over here. This is your next range quarterly, and then you have your range high. So starting to attempt to target towards the range quarterly over there, which is going to be at $3,357. So that's one thing to keep an eye on, is the ETH BTC chart. We'll have a look at a bunch of the other charts. Let's quickly see how Solana is doing. Solana is still looking good, similar to Bitcoin, similar to most of the charts that are out there. You know, the massive moves up that we saw are going to print those fair value gaps across the board, and price pulling back into those fair value gaps is probably going to be the next major opportunity. And I forgot to stick my neck out on the line for one more thing. I wanted to just stick my neck out for one more thing, which is when we look at these timing factors over here. I actually marked a white line. I believe this by the 15th of November will be the very start of the next markup phase. So we speak about the markup phase over here in the Wyckoff accumulation schematic. Going to the top, you create the SOS, and then the markup begins, right? Which goes into, again, phase E. So phase E, I believe, where retail participants come back and join the trend, supporting the uptrend. Let's highlight that over there. When these guys join back in, we'll put it in red because they're entering in at the danger zone. That probably starts to take off by the 15th of November, which means now is an important time to really get your positions. Wait for the next pullback, right? If you're 100% in cash, the next pullback that comes, maybe it happens sometime over the next week or so, you're looking to buy the dip, right? That's where you want to essentially buy the dip for the rest of the altcoin sector. Pick your coins, pick the strong coins. You guys know the strong coins that we've been looking at. Let's see Marga, right? Marga got absolutely dumped by the rumor, sell the news. As soon as the election phase happened, straight nuke towards the downside over there. But the strong coins that we've been looking at are still strong, right? Marga is still strong. One of my top picks over there. Giga, also one of my top picks, still very, very strong over there. Let's have a look at Brett. Okay, Brett bouncing off the range low. We do want to see a move up over here to 12 cents, that being at the range high. I'm keeping an eye out on WIF for this next pullback as a potential coin to at least allocate into. We know Popcat's been phenomenal, right? Huge moves up over here. A little bit of a strange chart. Let's just give it a bit of time to develop over here because this could be a lower high. Either way, the support zones are very, very clear, right? 50% level coming in at 1.01. And you actually saw a lot of these coins perfectly hit those 50% levels. There's 𝗕𝗢𝗜𝗓, right? From low to high, tags the 50% level and price moves up. So mark out those levels, search for the 50% level. How do you do this? Use your Fibonacci tool. You anchor at the low, anchor at the high, and then you're targeting 50% into the middle. And that oftentimes is going to be major, major support. All right, let's continue. What else do we have over here? Whale Discord educational videos. Guys, we're updating this constantly. This is for those of you in Whale Room who have been benefiting from diamond status. Well done. Congratulations to the diamond status people. There is a whole lot of videos we're going to keep adding. There's also blog posts. I do want to remind you all of that's in there. So if you want to learn trading strategies, everything is listed over there. Our traders have been crushing it. Say Trade, getting it perfectly in the buy zone. We have Parcel as well, perfectly into the buy zone, already up in profit. You have 115% on Turbo. So really, really good trades. There is a Black Friday offer for any of you that want to take advantage. While there are still spots available and while Black Friday still runs, you're getting 42% off a yearly membership, 25% off of a monthly membership. So use the link in the description below, right? Everything is listed over there if you do want to join. Okay, what other things do we have, guys? Let's drop your altcoin requests over there. Actually, let's save the altcoins for tomorrow. That's it from me today, folks. Join us in Whale Room. Sign up if you haven't already. Take advantage of the Black Friday. We'll do altcoins tomorrow. We've had a great show. Have a great day, everyone, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers for now.